Robin issue 2, Joshua Williamson writing with Gleb Melnikov on the art. So Robin, of course, got his heart pulled out last issue, and so naturally this issue has to address that immediately. And the very first page is the panels get closer and closer as he's lying on a slab, but we see that his heart just kind of heals, almost Wolverine style. Although, can I say I liked what I assume is intentional, that on the third panel here, the blood splat hole almost looks like an R. It almost looks like a Robin R. I thought that was a neat little
I like that
thing. He wakes up screaming. Rose is mocking him, and because he never actually listened to the rules, he now finds out that Lazarus Island, at least during the daytime, because there's a rule that they can only fight during the daytime. Lazarus Island, you cannot die. At least the first 2 times.
3 strikes you're out. Good rules. I like that this is Williamson setting the rules going forward. You know, the first issue was getting there. Now we're there. We have to learn.
Well,
and I like that it's Ravager that's telling him.
Yeah, Ravager wants to build kind of an alliance because she's not really there to win the tournament. She's there for her own agenda.
Now, correct me here too. I thought that even in the Deathstroke book, Rose was missing an eye, like her dad. Here she has them both.
I don't remember.
Did she wear an eye patch?
I don't remember her missing an eye.
Huh. Maybe that's just pre-Flashpoint. I'm conflating the two.
Remember.
But I was noticing she's eye patchless here.
No, that's true. She has eye patches. Here's the thing I like about this death mechanic, right? Where you can die twice and you're fine, and the third death is a bigger deal. Is that on the one hand, okay, you can have your shock death of Damien at the end of issue 1 for the big ending, and then you can sort of quickly deal with it next issue. But I think what I like about it is the fact that once Damien learns this, right, he learns it here that, wait, so killing here is not really murdering anyone because they're coming back. That means I don't have to hold back. And he immediately goes on a rampage and kills 4 other people immediately. I love what it does here because it's not just using it for the shock, so you can have the shock ending of issue 1. I mean, sure, they're having their cake and eating it because they get to do that too, but they're using it mechanically to show, oh, here's what Damien's like as a fighter if he doesn't have to use Batman's rules, if he doesn't have to avoid murder, without there being any consequences of us saying, oh, but he's killing people. No, he's not really, because he knows they're coming back.
No, right. At least to a certain point, because I feel like there's going to get to a point where it's someone's third strike.
Sure, yeah.
And he's going to hesitate because he is Batman's son,
Yeah. That's it, though. They're all allowed to leave after the second death, knowing that the third one's more permanent. They can...
Exactly. So that's it. So it's, the tournament doesn't start until everybody dies once, which is a nice mechanic, right? So, and then during the tournament, you can, once you die that time, you're out and you leave. And so we find out that the prize also is immortality via the largest Lazarus pit, which we'll get to. Yeah, which I think is a fun. That's a fun prize, but who's gone through this, right? This seems like it's an old tournament, Yet we don't know anyone who's ever won it, right? So what's the catch?
Didn't they say at the start though, when they were setting this up, that it's been a long time since they've had one. It was dormant for a long time. So
okay, that was true.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that caught me slipping.
So Rose sets up kind of the biggest threats in the tournament are, right? So we get Respawn, who is very Deathstroke looking, which she comments on.
Also very Spawn-esque, which I thought was interesting because the name, right?
We get XXL, who's actually a really little guy who overcompensates with a huge ego.
Sounds like
we get Flatline, who's the one who killed him last issue.
Right.
We have Black Swan, who is kind of like a demented theater kid who killed an audience when she decided to.
It's the Black Swan movie, but in DC Comics.
Yes.
It's Aronofsky, So Flatline, sometimes I feel like I get this vibe that I don't like new characters, right? I'm grumpy. No. I love Flatline. And the fact that she is the sidekick to the Batman of Japan's nemesis, Lord Deathman. I love it. Like her whole vibe. I don't know exactly what her thing is, but the fact that she's a sidekick to Lord Deathman and her name is Flatline. She seems to have a bubbly personality, which goes counter to what she looks like. You know, she seems like she just wants to cut loose on this island because it's the first time Lord Deathman's let her go. Yet she's enough of a threat that she's listed in the top 5, you know, with Black Swan. And then, you know, we get to the 5th one, who's Connor Hawk, just called Hawk, which is nice because we already have another Connor rolling around DC. And how many Connors is too many? I would argue 2.
1.
Well, I meant, you know. So, but yeah, no, I do like this. And it looks like Connor kills Raptor for Raptor's first death here. And we see just how dangerous Connor Hawk can be. But he also apologizes, right? Which then the League of Lazarus kind of yells, remember why you're here. You know, remember your pledge. So what do they have on him? You know?
Yeah, no. All valid questions. Rose wants to team up with Damien. Damien's not having it. Gets really embarrassed when she's looking at his manga. Like
she kind of makes fun of him for it.
Yeah.
Which I like. And he says it's personal.
Yeah.
Which I like his guardedness.
Yeah, she wants to train him, but he's like, wait, I've been trained by Batman. I don't need your training. So that night he decides to go sneaking around. He ends up running into Flatline, who comes with him, and they end up getting a glimpse of the giant Lazarus pit with the big demonic statue kind of around it.
Yeah, this is the cult of Kali Ma from Temple of Doom. That was a big Temple of Doom vibes. I'm sneaking around the rocks. Just the shot of the big cavern with this pool in there. You know, it's the largest Lazarus pit they've ever seen. So it also tells me that this tournament's not exactly what they're saying it is.
Oh sure, right? Yeah. There's more. There's more to this for sure.
Yeah.
So then Robin gets caught in a net. He cuts his way out of it. It was Rose, and she's like, "Look, this is why you still need training because you're too cocky. You're too arrogant. We need to like team up." And the cliffhanger of the issue is that they go somewhere where there's a lot of noise, and she's like, "Hey, this is where your training starts. You need to learn how to have fun." And it's actually all of the other competitors just like hanging out with music and playing video games and, you know, doing whatever on the beach. So, I mean, naturally, when Stephanie Brown tried to teach Damien how to have fun, it was one of my favorite issues of that Batgirl one. So I'm not against the concept. We'll see how it helps with the tournament, but I have to say, so far this book's been a pretty solid concept.
Yep, I like it so far. Like just everything here, and I'm getting the Young Heroes vibe too, like that I've been missing from Teen Titans and even Young Justice, where I just feel like Williamson almost has these characters' voices down a little bit better, and so they do feel young. And Damien feels spot on, and Rose feels right, and yeah, everything is working out so far. Like it's paced perfectly too, because of course we got, you know, this is the issue that introduces the rules, and after, like I said earlier, the first issue was Damien getting there. I feel like the bulk is going to be the tournament, right? Like we're gonna see who he's facing off against, and we know it's going to come down to him versus Connor Hawk. You know, that was set up in the Zero issue. So yeah, I just really like this book. It's a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, Robin's been solid. The art's really good, I think. The combat, the action looks good.
Yeah.
Very expressive with Damien, especially. You know, Rose kind of having that smirk as she's like sort of telling him that he needs to grow up and he needs help, he needs to be trained.
Yeah.
All good stuff.
The part that made me realize her eye patch was missing was the wink, where she goes, "I'll train you." And I was like, okay, something's off with this. And it's her eye patch. But I love that page, just because the way.
I mean, maybe she did have an eye patch before, but maybe that's the whole point of the wink. Is the wink is like, hey, remember there was an eye patch here before?
Sure, but I'm just saying, it like for a book that's about a tournament where you have to kill each other, that is a very bright and shiny page. You know, that's almost, I don't want to say it's twee, but just I'll train you. Like I almost read it in like a kid's voice kind of deal, you know? Like, I don't know. almost like it's from a kids show or Teen Titans Go, which kind of runs opposite of what this book is. So it was nice, and we know she's there for her own reasons. You know, maybe they involve Respawn.
Maybe they involve Jason Todd. Maybe they involve a number of things.
Maybe, yeah. Well, Jason's showing up in issue 5 with the rest of the Bat Fam, the Bird Gang. So I'm gonna call it a group of sidekicks, the Bird Gang. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, this is very, very fun read.
I like the coloring, especially. See when they're sneaking into the Lazarus Pit area, the green glow and everything. I thought was a really nice touch, really well handled. So so very nice. What are you giving Robin issue 2?
I'm giving this a solid 8.
8 out of 10
Sure.
for me as well.